Hey there, Funk00 here. It's been a while since I last recorded. This isn't gonna be one of the main numbered Yakutat Bay videos. That implies a sort of quality that I'm not sure I can promise in this video. But I figure it should be a chill time anyway. So basically what I'm doing is, you might remember the city of Lakewood from earlier videos I've uploaded, or also possibly from some screenshots that I have posted on Reddit, and also SC4 Devotion and Centropolis. Anyway, I still haven't updated it from the old tree controller I was using in this region, the Pacific Northwest tree controller, to the new one, which is the Cascadia tree controller. So I've been updating a lot of tiles recently, and I thought it might be a good idea to show you what's been consuming a lot of my SE4 time recently, even if it won't necessarily make for the most riveting content. It still gives you a good chance to see the city, though. I mean, Lakewood's definitely an interesting place. I don't expect that this whole project of replacing the trees will take more than around, say, maybe 30-40 minutes max. Yeah, really, it's a substantial bit of work, but it's not the biggest thing I could be doing. So, in the meantime, I might as well talk a little bit about this city and my plans for it in the future. Basically, the traffic here is a nightmare because, as you can see, we have a total of how many people here? It's not as bad as some parts of the region, honestly, but that's around 8,000 people using a single tile road right there, which means substantial delays. And this single tile road, if we follow it, you can see is the only sort of upgraded route through town. Yeah, so that's a little bit of an issue, definitely. And in a future video, I want to address the traffic situation in this city by extending the highway that connects to Jamaica and Annapolis all the way around the western edge of the lake to terminate somewhere in this city, probably somewhere not far south of downtown. I'm thinking maybe I'll end up widening this road, which is one of the historic main thoroughfares through the area, into a two-tile network, and then terminate the highway somewhere around here or so with an intersection. But I don't know, it's all kind of up in the air at this point still. But that should make an interesting video when the time comes around. I don't really want to get started on that until I finish the cities on the western side of the lake, which, well, I didn't show you a region view at the beginning of this video, so yeah, I'll probably upload an updated one in the video description in that case, so that you can know what I'm talking about when I make references like that. Okay, so far everything's going pretty smooth. My graphics card is, it's still showing me that same old bug I've been encountering since the beginning of Prospect Bay, but it's almost an old friend by now. Or at least I've learned to ignore it a little bit better. It's just something I always run into in developed tiles these days. And what am I gonna do? Not play developed tiles? That wouldn't be fun. Yeah. I figure that anybody who subscribes to my channel likely also subscribes to the channel of Haljacky. You know, he's pretty well known at Centropolis and SC4 Devotion. He gets he got quite a substantial number of views by SE4 video standards on the 100-part Let's Play series that he did recently. But yeah, he just put out a new video, and he posted a link to it on Reddit, and in the comments, the video is about him replacing the bridge in one of his old downtowns that he built years ago with Maxis Highway and all that. So anyway, all the comments on Reddit were along the lines of, it takes you an hour to just replace a bridge? You know, that's not worth it. But definitely I disagree very strongly with that. With SimCity 4, what you get out of it corresponds very directly to the amount of effort that you put in and the amount of planning that you put in. That's why this region, it's been extremely slow progress building, but I don't know, I'm still pretty happy with the results, even though it's getting to the point where the region is developed enough that I'm not going to be doing completely new things very often from now on. Even despite that, sometimes I just zoom out completely over a tile and I'm like, whoa, that terrain with this tree mod and everything just looks awesome. Yeah, that's really where probably most of the immediate beauty of SC4 tiles comes from for me, is the natural scenery. That's why I want to, you know, kind of the big issue when I started SC4 was I just overdeveloped everything. So ever since then, pretty much, it's been a slow process of learning kind of where to draw the line and how to realistically create development in an area without necessarily diminishing the natural beauty of it. Yakutat Bay isn't exactly the best example of those principles, since so much of the terrain is just flat, and the tree mod I have doesn't really work well with flat terrain either. But I definitely have tried to put that principle into practice wherever I can in the region. Certainly in the northeastern glacial valley there's more evidence of that stuff, and anywhere around mountains really. But there's just a lot of land that's filled up by pretty much nothing but grids of farms, and there's still about 4 or 5 times that much land left to fill with nothing but farms, so might as well not get tired of it now, just to be safe. Okay, so how am I gonna fix this up? Guess I'll bulldoze along this edge first. Alright. Wow, really wish there was something I could do about that graphics bug. Next to the audio quality, it's probably the least professional looking part of my videos. Probably drives away a few viewers, honestly. Maybe someday, right? I actually asked for help about this bug on the major forums, but yeah, pretty much didn't get a single reply, even though I had screenshots. So I guess I'm the only one who experiences this kind of problem. The truth is, if I had to guess, it's probably caused by one of the mods I have installed, probably one of the agricultural ones, but I have so many that it could be that I'm not really prepared right now to hunt out which mod directly must be causing it, especially with no guarantee that it's a mod that's causing this, as opposed to just my graphics card, which its driver has always had some funny behaviors for me, unfortunately. Yeah, I have very, very few complaints about the computer I built a year and a half ago, which is what I play SimCity 4 on, except that I probably should have chosen a different graphics card. Alright. Well, don't want to bulldoze everything here. Looks like there are some other God Mode trees that are in the middle of these lots. Hopefully those will disappear over time as more development happens. I'm really not a fan of the look of God Mode trees on top of other lots. It just doesn't really look good to me. Alright, that street, it doesn't visually connect over the tiles, so I might as well limit it away from the tile border, just to draw a little bit of attention away from that straight line. Alright, let's see if I can find any more of these pesky God Mode trees that I missed in this quadrant of the city. Don't think so. Okay, cool. Might as well start getting rid of them around here. Now, these extra large square blocks at the edge of town, probably when I do the highway project, I'm gonna be rebuilding most of them differently, because I kind of measured wrong for them. They're just a tile off compared to the way that I had originally intended to do them. And, well, you can't really see that so well unless you look really closely. It's still a different effect from the... Well, it's pretty much the same effect, but I'd still like to have it perfect. So I'll probably take that opportunity to redevelop. Ooh, looks like I had some Mayor Mode trees in the center of these blocks. That's fancy, but I probably will not be replacing them like that. Alright, excellent. No, this might take a lot less than 30 to 40 minutes, honestly. Won't make any guarantees now, because I could still very easily have a lot to do. For instance, I haven't really fixed up the trees alongside this diagonal railway yet. That's always a bit labor intensive. Ooh, the fact that it's just these extra small pines in the Pacific Northwest tree mods tells me that there'll probably be some interesting variety when I use the Cascadia tree mod around this area. Since it's not just the standard flat lowland variety. Alright. You know what? I thought I'd been into this tile since installing the real railway mod and updated that stuff, but it looks like I actually didn't, so I'm gonna just do that really quickly. Alright, get that done right. Gotta go find my RHW2 really quick. That doesn't look the best, but I think it'll be fine. Okay. Oh, that's an issue right there. Looks like I'm gonna have to rebuild that. Looks like it was really a slope issue more than anything, honestly, though. See if it'll fix itself up now. Maybe... That would probably... No! Okay, well I really don't want to break this neighbor connection, so we'll have to find some way to do this. Yeah, that's not going to work in any case. Alright, that would give me what I just had. So I clearly need to... How did I normally do this in the past? Oh, you know what? I think I know. Yes. Excellent. So you just have to drag it out as a diagonal up to the tile next to the... up to the tile where you want the neighbor connection. Because if you drag it straight first, it will have issues connecting to the diagonal later. And with most networks it doesn't work like that. You can't create a neighbor connection from the diagonal or from dragging the diagonal, but for some reason it does with rail. Actually, I think it might work the way for all the single tile networks, and I'm just talking out my ass, but that would be convenient though. Alright, looks like I missed a few trees over here. Either that or I was only doing the other side of the railway alignment. Might as well get rid of those too, because they're technically in it. Okay, so I kept my little window here open, hoping to... Ooh, I want to look at the zones view, but I don't want to really load that. And yeah, this isn't going to give me the best. Here, I'm just going to give it a quick save. And I guess because this isn't a mainline video, I'll just do it on the recording, since I wasn't really intending to piece together a lot of footage. Alright, so it is the first time I have saved this tile, and definitely probably 2 months, honestly. So it did take a minute, but it wasn't too bad. Alright, get off those silly traffic colors. So let's see if we can spot any God mode trees that I missed. And if you spot some and I don't, please point at your screen and shout hysterically. Alright. I am not seeing any so far, which is good news. Oh. Never mind. Looks like there's a little not subdivision, but little grouping of houses out here with their own forest. That's nice. Always essential to have lots of stuff like that around an urban area if you want it to be realistic. Alright, so now if I'm not mistaken, that would be the last copse of God mode trees I'm trying to destroy, and it looks like I'm not mistaken. Excellent. So the first step to the tree replacement, the way I like to do it, is to take the one tile brush, and it's really not the finest brush it could be because I'm zoomed out, but I just like to use this to run along the edge of lots where it's very easy to accidentally grow trees on top of the lot. And generally my rule is if one tree makes it on top of the lot, you know, it's okay to just live with it, even if it's really egregious. But if two trees are like in the middle of the lot and they're both super egregious, then definitely the lot needs to be bulldozed and regrown or replopped. Same if there's more than like 2 or 3 trees that are on the lot and kind of just scraping the edge, but you know, they're definitely over the border when you look carefully. Just save myself a little bit of hassle that way with demolishing a lot of extra lots. Okay, so this is a pretty slow process, honestly. It takes a lot of care. Ooh, this farm. You know what? I'm finally going to look up the name. CSX Farm, Bob's Place. And I'm going to remove that from my plugins. That farm bothers me every time with all the pollution it emits. I'm sure that must be a bug. But I've just been demolishing it without looking at the name for way too long. Bob's Place, right? If I forget, I can always look back in the video later. Or, well, if I forget, why would I remember to look back? Alright. Easy does it. Man, I really like how this tile looks. This is kind of the essential old-fashioned style Yakutat Bay city. It was one of the rash of the first, I don't know if it was one of the first 10 tiles I built in this region, but I think it was, and it was definitely one of the first 12 or 15. This is a region with a hell of a lot of tiles, so that really is saying something. It was the demand from this city that really drove the first wave of building purely agricultural tiles on large lot sizes, or large zone sizes, I suppose is a better term when talking about farms, since the lot is technically only a small part of the farm and the rest of the zone is taken up by the field. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's even true. That's just kind of how I see it. I guess a more precise way would be the bat is only a part of the farm zone. So I think the lot technically probably includes the field. If only because you can query it and it will give you lot information. Okay, so I like the variety of trees I got along the railway alignment there. Let's see if I can do just as well along this one. Not quite as many conifers, but there's still a fair bit of those, so I'll definitely take what I can get. Oh man, that graphical bug at the bottom edge of the screen is really bugging me, but I don't want to take my hand off the mouse to touch the G key. I could just use my other hand, I guess. Logic right there. Oh, but I accidentally pressed B, so I guess it was a failure after all. Or not a failure, but you know, it interrupted my treeing process after all. Okay, so that's pretty good. Might as well get on to some of these empty areas around the city. I also like to outline the lots with the one tile brush, just because if you hold the tree controller over them for too long, they do tend to get kind of dominated by what's the term? Oh yeah, dominated by godmode trees. You know, they just kind of cover the view of the buildings and everything. Especially with these RLS small homes, that's a lot of empty grassy area that the godmode trees are plenty willing to grow on. I have a lot of these RLS homes in this city too. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, they are repeating structures, but it's definitely a lot that I'm a big fan. Big fan of. Excuse me, by the way. So let's see if I can not get too much on top of the park set, because I don't want to have to replot that stuff. And it looks like I'm doing fairly well here. Alright, looks like the trees don't grow on top of the station, so I'll just hover it over that, kind of. Because I know they will grow on top of that small warehouse lot. And again, that's something that's like those BSC parks. It's way down at the bottom of a huge menu, so I don't really want to scroll to that if I don't have to. Oh my god! That's an issue! Why the heck did that happen with the... it's happening again! Look at that! The trains are just clipping right through each other. Yeah, that's a real problem. There are 2 tracks here! Why would you do that? Looks like the Automata AI isn't really that good for single track rail. I don't think I'd ever spotted that before, honestly, the trains colliding with each other. I guess because usually my train traffic is one directional on my... well, that's not true, actually. I had plenty of single track rails carrying bi-directional traffic in Prospect Bay. Speaking of which, I really want to finish up that region very soon. If I had to estimate how much time there's left that I'll have to spend in gameplay before the region is done, it's really close in the macro term of scale of things, you know. Maybe 10 hours, 15 hours, maybe as little as 5 more hours, honestly, before it's just completely done and in its finished state. And I can say, man, I just have been neglecting that project. But it's also that I want to take it out with a bang, and I've been pretty self-conscious about the audio quality of my videos lately. It makes me hesitant to record when I think about that too much. Yeah, I really want to buy a new microphone, but it's hard to justify that expense to myself. Hopefully, honestly, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that. I would say I'm going to be moving in about a month and a half, and probably spending a lot of money around then. So if I can figure out that I can sort of buy the microphone without jeopardizing my cash reserves around that time, then I will probably do it. Because I think even just investing in a nice microphone, that in itself might be the source of a lot of motivation to go back and really record some more. Uh-oh. Nah, that is 2 trees on top of the field, but I don't know how egregious that really is, because they are right next to each other. So I think I'll live with it unless I screw up again really quickly, pushing these trees up the edge, and I didn't, so I'll just keep the 2 trees on top of it. Alright, excellent. Oh no. God damn it. Yeah, it's a pretty egregious tree too, but again, only the one. So I'll just leave it. Alright. Very nearly done here. That makes me feel pretty good. Looks like the trees don't really want to grow too thick in the middle of this park, which I suppose looks alright, because the park is the kind of place that you want to be supremely sunny anyway. And a lot of open air, you know, especially in the middle of a super dense city like Lakewood. Yeah. Yeah, this city really is kind of no holds barred when it comes to the density, at least as far as small lot sizes and packing things in, not so much as far as building size necessarily. Although I will zoom over really quick again. This is the densest downtown in Prospect Bay so far, I hope you guys realize. It's still a very, very rural region. And Jamaica, how much population do we have here? Yeah, Jamaica is a bigger city, but its downtown isn't quite as big, I don't think. And even if it is as big, well, downtown is mostly industrial anyway. Same here, honestly. But even if Jamaica's downtown is as big, which I'm not sure about, really kind of doubt it, Jamaica's is more of a low-rise downtown anyway. Alright, finally, I think it's safe for me to move on to a bigger brush size. Well, actually, I'm just going to have to switch right back in order to fill this little area in here. I love how the trees here are different from right over in the public park area right here. And I'm just going to complete the sidewalk there really quick. Any other sidewalks that could use some love? Yeah, that's alright. Maybe something around here. And around here, honestly. Just introduce a little bit of a gap between the road and the farm there, I guess. And no, don't obliterate the city. And let me see if I can just yes, got a few trees in there. All right, where are my other sidewalks in need? Definitely over here. Alright, yeah. Oh yeah, I wanted to do some sidewalk work right here as well. Yes. That may be the last one? No. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of places in here where the sidewalks are incomplete. I guess I built it, or built the city before I knew that trick. Alright, all looking pretty good. And alright, I'd call this, could do an improvement there. That's probably all I'll find as far as potential sidewalk improvements. Over here, wow, yeah, that slope just isn't really friendly to, it isn't really so big on letting me plant more trees there. And I was kind of pulling away from the lakeshore a little bit with putting down my trees a minute ago, but I just realized that I wasn't really doing that before. Because I do like these lakeside lodge poles that are sprouting up. Well, I'm not sure if that's even what kind of tree it is. Let me look it up really quick. Cottonwoods, of course, not a lodgepole. A lodgepole is a pine. Yeah. But yeah, those trees spring up a lot more if you really let the God mode tool go right up to the edge of the water. Yeah, cottonwood, that's... it's not a name of a tree that I hear a lot in real life. I guess maybe they just don't really grow... well, they must grow around this region because the tree controller I'm using is based off the region where I live, but I guess it just goes to show I don't know that much about trees. I really have a lot to learn. I've been trying to teach myself, but you know, the whole recognition part doesn't really come easy to me. And it's not something I really looked at too much as a kid or a teenager. You know, paying attention to scenery. You know, I could really use a much bigger tool for that area. So let me just give myself more of a buffer around these fields and zones. Alright. Let's give myself the biggest size that I can use. Alright, yeah, this tool is a lot more like it. It's developing those mountain meadows a lot faster. Wow, those are some pretty decent conifer coverage around here, although I guess it's to be expected with the slopes and everything. Alright. So, looks like I demolished a little bit of that zone. Well, yeah, the rest of it's going to go too. Okay. Alright. Let's try to develop this as much as possible to get as many of those small plants as we can. That looks like about it though. So, if I had to guess, I would think that I've pretty much done all I can as far as replacing trees in this tile. What? Oh, no, that was replaced. It took a minute to load the trees, so for a minute I thought I'd completely forgotten that area, but not the case. Well, my annoying roommate is shouting at the top of this long downstairs. Hopefully you don't hear too much of it. Alright, so the next step here is I'm going to want to zoom out to double check, so I definitely want to save before I do that after all this work. Man, one thing I'm looking forward to about moving out is getting away from my one loud roommate. Most of my roommates aren't problems. It's just this one guy, you know, he's louder than the other three combined. Or other two combined, actually. Yeah, so that's as far as I can zoom. Or not zoom, but, yeah, I already saved. Okay, looks like the zoom out was successful. Let's just give the game a minute to load so I can scroll a little bit more smoothly. And okay, so I do not see any areas I missed. Again, if you see anything I don't, please point at the screen and laugh hysterically. Anyway, the last step is to take a screenshot. I've been doing this recently with all of the tiles that I've been switching over, taking a quick overview screenshot with the entire tile in camera, with the new trees and everything, and with north oriented upwards. So yeah, they all look a little bit like this. But eventually, once I'm done sort of polishing my region view, which still has a long way to go, I will probably put something together so that you can look at the region view and then look up the overview of every tile on it to kind of, it almost like zooming into the region view. It should be pretty cool when I make it, but yeah, it's something to look forward to. Anyway, in the meantime, I really hope you enjoyed the video. Promise I'll make a better video soon if you didn't. And yeah, peace out until next time.